Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss class 7th exponents and power. Okay. So now let's see why these exponents and powers, right? Why this chapter? See guys, when there are smaller numbers in maths, it's very easy to read them, right? Even write them or even compare them. We can compare the smaller numbers very easily compared to larger numbers, right? So like if say 1500, 1250, 20,000, etc. These are all like smaller number, right? So it becomes like these numbers, if they are in tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, even in lakhs, they are still easy. But what if someone gives you numbers like this? The distance between Sun and Saturn is this much. Now, looking at this number, the first thing that comes in your mind is OMG, right? Because this number is such a big number, such a large number, that it becomes very difficult to read, write, even understand sometime, or even compare, right? So, because these large numbers are very difficult to compare or understand and to represent also, we need some concept which would make this thing easy, and that concept is nothing but concept of exponent. So concept of exponent makes larger numbers easy to read, write, understand, and even compare, right? So let's understand what is exponent, right? What is this concept about? So exponent is a representation of bigger number in an easier way, as I just told you, that because of this thing only this concept has come. So exponent is what? It is a representation of bigger number or larger number in a much easier way. For example, see, 10,000. If we take this number 10,000, now there are certain numbers. By multiplying with these numbers, we can get to 10,000, right? So, in 10,000, if you can see that 10,000 is also represented as 10 into 10 into 10 into 10. So, simply 10 4 times, okay? Understand this very carefully. When I say 10 4 times, that doesn't mean 10 multiplied by 4. It means 10 multiply by 10, multiply by 10, multiply by 10. These things are very different, okay? 10 multiplied by 4 makes 40, okay? So 10 multiplied by 4 will give you 40. But 10, 10, 10, 10. So if you multiply 10 4 times, then that gives you 10,000, right? So just don't get confused with this. I'll just delete it for right now. So 10,000 is represented as, or 10,000 can be represented as 10 raised to the power 4. So if you can notice, the 4 is written just little above than 10. So here we can say that 4 is power. 4 is nothing but power, right? So this 4 is power, and this 10 becomes base. Let's make a different color. This 10 becomes base, right? So 4 becomes your power and 10 becomes your base. So we can say that 10 raised to the power 4 is the exponential form of 10,000, okay? So 10 raised to the power 4 is exponential form of 10,000. Why exponential form? Because it's being written in exponent form. Okay. Now it is read as, this number is read as 10 raised to the power of 4. 10 raised, but how much? To the power of 4. Means the power of 10 is 4 times, right? That's how. Or you can also read it like 4th power of 10. Okay. Similarly, there are these numbers 1000, 1 lakh. Okay. To make it easier, we can say that 3 times 0. So 10 raised to the power 3. 5 times 0, 10 raised to the power 5, like that. Okay. This is just an easy way. Now, there are some larger, like bigger number. We can use them in expanded form also. You are aware of these things. Like, see, this 4 is in ones place, so 4 ones are. 3 is in tens place, so 3 tens are. 5 is in hundreds place, so 5 hundreds are. Okay, let me just underline it. Right? See, 4 is in ones place, 3 is in tens place, 5 is in hundreds place, 2 is at thousands place, and 1 is at 10,000 place. Now this is your expanded form. This expanded form also you can write like this. Similarly, see, 1 multiplied by 10,000. So why to write 10,000? You can just write 1 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 4. 2 into 1000 can be written as 2 into 10 raised to the power 3. 5 into 100 can be written as 5 into 10 raised to the power 2. 3, 10. There is only one time, so we don't write anything. Now, understand this very important rule here. Okay, and 4 ones are 4. So let me first finish this and then I'm giving you this important rule. See, if you see here, 10 raised to the power 4 means 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10, like that. Similarly, 10 raised to the power 3, right? Then here 10 raised to the power 2, and here there is nothing, not even 1. So we know that if there is nothing, it means 1. So when there is no power, we can say that when there is no mention of power means it is 1. This is very important rule. It will be very helpful in your powers and rules of or the the other sums of this exponents and powers. Okay, because there are some rules of exponents and powers. In that, it will be very useful. So this is very important. That's why I have bolded and underlined it also. So these numbers which have base other than 10, okay. So this is how we have seen that the numbers which have, in the numbers which have zeros can be written as power. So does it mean that the other numbers not written? No, it's not like that. So the other numbers are also written. For example, 64. Now there are no zeros here. So how do we write 64 in an exponential form? Means any number can be written in as exponents. It can be small number, it can be bigger number, whatever. So let's find out that. Now, this 64 can be written in exponent form. Now, the first important thing is to write any number in an exponential form is to find out prime factorization of that number. Means, for example, if I just write 64 here, if I'll just write 64 here, right? Then here 2, we know that we always start with 2. 2 threes are and 2 twos are. Then again 2 16s are. Then 2 8s are. Then 2 4s, then 2 2s, okay, and then lastly 2 1s. Now once we have 1 means we are done with, okay, please bear with this. Anyways, so this 64, the prime factorization of 64 is 2 2 2 2. So see, I'll just highlight it for you. Okay, so these are the prime factorization, right? These numbers. So we can say that 64 can be written as 2 multiplied by 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 2 means 2 raised to the power of 6. How many times 2 comes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. Right, correct. So here also 6 is your power. 6 becomes your power and 2 becomes your base. Okay, you know how to write that. Just for your understanding, nothing else. So 2 becomes the base and 6 becomes power. Similarly, these numbers like 125, we know that we should always start with 2, but we know that 125, the unit digit is 5. So naturally, we either we will divide it with 5, we'll start it with 5. So 5 into 5 into 5. Similarly, 81, 2 with 2 it's not possible. So we'll start with 3 and 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. 3 raised to the power 4 or okay, fourth power of 3. 243 again 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So 3 raised to the power of 5 or fifth power of 3. That's it. It's as easy as that. Okay. So this is how we can write any number in an exponential form. Now, does that mean that only positive numbers we can write? So initially we talked about the numbers with so many zeros. Then we talk about the other numbers. They don't have zeros. Now let's talk about negative numbers. Can we write negative numbers also in exponential form? Of course, yes. See, for example, this is minus 27. So you just have to prime factorize them the way we are doing it. But the only difference would be, because this is minus, each and every number will have minus sign with it. So 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3, that is 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. And here you have to mention minus 3 raised to the power of 3. Don't forget to put bracket, right? Any negative numbers will always have a bracket. Okay. Similarly, 32. This will be also prime factorized, but same way like we have been doing. Okay. The only difference would be the minus sign would be there. All right. And 2 raised to minus 2 raised to the power of 5. Similarly, minus 125. So minus 5, minus 5, minus 5, and minus 5 raised to the power 3. Okay. Now, if you notice, see, all the powers are odd numbers. 3 is odd numbers, 5 is odd number, 3 is odd number. Now, do you remember anything I told you before in integer chapters? That any if you multiply odd number of time minus sign, then our answer is minus. This is the same, right? So math has connection. Anyways, so this is how you can mention negative numbers also, right? You can represent negative numbers also in an exponential form. Okay. Now in next video we'll talk about how, see, this what we have talked about is only like 5 raised to 3. These are all same numbers like 5, 3, then here also 3, then here also 2. See, 2 and only 5. But there can be different numbers also. So that we will talk about in our next video. Till then, goodbye.